Welcome to my learning channel. This video is part of a series about developing effective ATL skills and aims to support MYP students in their personal project experience. In this video, we will focus on research skills, specifically on media literacy, and we will explore how different sources can help in our investigation process. This video presents information as follows. First, you will hear some highlights about the different ways in which effective research practices will help you develop learning skills. After that, you will learn about the conventions of a few types of sources. Finally, we will conclude by pointing out the connections between the research process and other aspects of the personal project. I would like to begin by saying that the report you will produce at the end of your personal project journey is not an academic essay. For this reason, the kind of research you will do is different. Your personal project is based on a topic of your interest. For this reason, the research that you will have to conduct has to focus on understanding the outcome you want to create, on learning about the knowledge and skills you need to produce it, and on comparing and contrasting the goal you want to achieve with similar products that exist already. Using different types of sources in your research will help you to discover different perspectives, to observe patterns on how information is communicated to different audiences, to compare and contrast different ways of presenting information and explaining concepts, to understand how writers synthesize other writers' ideas, and to develop your communication skills to write for an audience. Also, using different types of sources in your research will empower you to identify possible bias, to collect relevant information about your topic, to compare and contrast different perspectives and opinions about your topic, to gather information that will help you make effective decisions and will inform your choices throughout the personal project. Only asking Google questions is not doing research. But these questions may be the beginning of an effective research process. When you do research, you practice your thinking skills by evaluating purpose and limitations of the sources that you view, by summarizing and synthesizing ideas, by developing critical thinking skills, and by finding connections with other areas of knowledge. When you do research, you also practice and develop your communication skills by reading for comprehension, by identifying relevant information, by expanding your vocabulary on your topic, and by learning to speak about your subject in an informed manner. Let us explore some conventions of different sources. In this part, I will explain a few ideas that may help you to understand when and why you should use each type of source. Right now, we are looking at newspapers, magazines, and blogs. The target audience for a newspaper are generally adults. The audience for a magazine varies, and the audience for a blog varies. Magazines are popular because they are written with a sense of audience. Newspapers present information in a way that can be understood by young adults and adults. Magazines are popular because they are written with a sense of audience, just as blogs are. The purpose of communication of newspapers is generally to inform, although there may be articles that can be persuasive. The purpose of communication of magazines is generally to entertain, although some magazines may have content to inform or persuade. Blogs, in general, entertain the readers. Some blogs, however, can also be persuasive or informative. Conducting research using newspapers can be effective for learning about current national and global events. Using magazines for research can be effective for interacting with different points of view under a big umbrella topic. And using blogs in your research can be effective for interacting with the author's perspective and the follower's input. Let us look at books, movies, and primary sources. The target audience for books vary. The target audience for movies can vary as well. And conducting face-to-face interviews does not have a target audience, However, we define the target audience when we use the data that we collect to write a report. Textbooks are written considering students' ages, and we must remember that the higher the grade level, the more complex information will be. With regards to movies, most countries have a movie classification system depending on the content of the movie. These systems vary from country to country. The purpose of communication of books is generally to inform. The purpose of communication of movies is generally to entertain, although some documentaries can inform and some can have a persuasive touch as well. YouTube videos can also entertain, inform, or persuade. We conduct interviews in order to explore people's feelings and opinions about different topics and to find trends in their responses. Using books for research can be effective for finding information that is mostly current and that tends to be reliable. Using movies for research can be effective for accessing perspectives from different parts of the world. Subtitled material can help us to interact with information that maybe is not available in our language. Interviews and surveys can be effective for collecting people's feelings and opinions. If you would like to download this information, you can do so by clicking on the link provided in the video description. Finally, how is research related to other aspects of the personal project? Effective research contributes to achieving your goal because it confirms that your goal is highly challenging and it informs you about the things you need to consider when organizing your timeline. Effective research also helps you to design your success criteria or the specifications of your product. Research helps you because it informs the decisions you will have to make to justify that your success criteria are research-based, and also because it helps you to ensure that your decisions are research-based too. Also, research will help you to become aware of new learning and challenges, and it will support you to reflect on the knowledge and skills you developed. In brief, this will allow for a more meaningful and insightful reflection. Let's summarize this video. Authors write, create, or produce different sources for different audiences, which can be children, young adults, or adults. These sources are written with specific purposes in mind, such as entertaining, informing, or persuading. You need to remember that the type of sources that you use in your research will need to be evaluated in terms of their limitations, the context and time in which they were published, and the relevance to your personal project goal.